Morning, guys. Well, we're up here in Missouri, and we're overlooking the bottom area right now. That's a pretty good cliff system that moves up the hill. And these trees, I hope that footage is doing this justice. This is one of the prettiest spots out here, and we've got a Taft cam running through, and we've got a pretty major trail system coming directly to the east of us. We've already seen several deer, but they've all actually been back west. We're really utilizing that ozonics to cover our tracks here, and it's worked out very well. But I want to do a quick little video on hunting the peak rut. And this is the time that everybody wants to be out there, and it's just a absolute busy time as long as you're within that deer's range or that deer activity's range, because you got two things against you, especially as a bow hunter during that time, is those deer are flying through here because those bucks are pushing those does if in the estrus, and then the other one is you've got to be where those deer are at. So monitor your trail cameras, monitor your observation sets. If you're starting to see a lot more does using one trail system, move accordingly, because those bucks should be following right behind them, especially when they get into that estrus time period. But it is a good time, or another time, that you'll start seeing a lot of those roaming bucks, those non-core deer be up and moving. There's new deer that should be moving in and out of the area pretty consistently during this time period, trying to seek out those does and estrus, breed them, and then move on to the next one. But it's also a great time to get your kiddos involved in deer hunting, friends, family, because again, once you're in those deer, it's nothing. The rest of the hunting season, it's phenomenal, but there's nothing like that peak rut time period to see deer activity. So, buck activity should be increasing mid-morning. There's been several occasions out there in Kansas, especially, where I've sat out there and hunted till 10:30, 11 o'clock, and sometimes, it's 30-mile-per-hour wind and 20 degrees. It's absolutely can be miserable, especially on your fingers and stuff. And there have been several times where I've actually got down out of that tree stand, looked back towards the trail, and there's the doe and then a shooter buck right behind it. I think that's happened 2 times in the last 10 years for me. So I either got to get a little tougher, or start preparing myself a little bit better. So that's something else to keep in mind. And this year we're starting to run with a code of silence, and we've been using this bit right here, and it's a pretty rock solid unit, and I've got their insulated underwear, if you will, both hood systems. This thing's got a really nice deal for your safety harness on the back side that's already cut out for you. And then we've also got their warmer clothing that we'll be utilizing here, actually probably on Monday when we're back in Kansas. But in the mornings, you're going to want to start really hunting into those bedding areas, especially when you get those big, nice cold fronts. Get back into those best stands that you haven't been hunting throughout the year, and then during the evening time period, either hunt on a transition travel corridor where you're seeing a lot of does move in and out from bedding to food, or directly on that food. I'll hunt out of our rednecks. If I feel pretty comfortable with, I'm going to have a pretty good opportunity to see a lot of deer move through one of those, then I'll definitely jump in and hunt during the evening times. And then, just hunt smart. The time of day, those deer are going to be moving throughout the day, especially on those colder days. Warmer days, still hunt, but maybe not hunt as aggressively as you will on those colder days. I think that'll really pay off well for you. And then the very last thing is always, during your entry, exit, and during your hunt, make sure you understand your wind and your thermals and utilizing those. And then, like last week, I was up in the stand, the wind direction switched, and I bailed out of that stand just because I knew that I did not want to educate those deer. So just something else to keep in mind. We will be hunting in Kansas Monday when this footage, when this video shows, but then after that we should be back here in Missouri shortly. So we'll go ahead and show you guys some footage here from this week, and like always, hopefully you guys are getting out there in nature. Best of luck on your upcoming hunt.